All right, in the space of the next 5 political seconds, after we went from reform the police to defund the police to disband the police, now the radical left is trying to tell us that disband the police doesn't actually mean disband the police.
There's a lot of gaslighting going on in this whole discussion, right? We're supposed to not believe that we actually heard those words defund and disband from the Minneapolis City Council, from AOC, from Ilhan Omar. We're supposed to pretend that we didn't hear those words coming out of their mouths. But I do think there's an underlying problem here. There's a large part of the right, I think, that still thinks we're having a policy conversation. And I'm perfectly willing to have a reasonable policy conversation about ending qualified immunity, for example, reforming police unions. There's a perfectly normal policy conversation to be had, but that is not the conversation, quote unquote, that is being had at these protests. These protests are pretty clear. Most of them, there's been a lot of burning of the American flag, for example, which hasn't gotten a lot of coverage just because rioting tends to lead the coverage. But if you actually look at some of the chants that are being chanted at these protests, this is a attack on the American way of life, system of government. It's saying that we are irredeemably racist. We can never fix our irredeemably racist founding, and we essentially need to change the system that has brought us so much freedom and prosperity in this country relative to all of world history. So it is a revolutionary movement, and I don't think that sort of swapping policy goals and making reasonable compromises when it comes to police reform is ever going to satisfy.